Have you ever wondered why your videos suck? Now, I don't mean to be rude. I'm not saying that your videos suck. It's more so our own critical eye of ourselves over our own work. It's just that sometimes when I look at my videos and I compare them to other people who have either been doing it longer or who are just straight up better than I am, sometimes I walk away from that experience going, dang, my videos suck. But the reality is my videos don't suck and your videos don't suck, but our work and our videos can always get better. So, I'm starting a new series called How to Make Your Videos Not Suck. And I'm gonna cover a wide variety of topics from sound design, color grading, editing, shot matching. I mean, you name it, we're gonna cover it. And I'm really excited about that. But today, for the first video of this new series, we're gonna be talking about composition. Now, composition, it's tough to describe and sometimes it's even harder to teach. But composition is one of those things where you know when you're seeing good composition and you certainly know when you're seeing bad composition. Now, one of the best rules to follow when it comes to composition is this. Don't be freaking lazy, man. The times in my videos where I've had really just crappy composition have been the times where I've been lazy and not willing to go the extra mile. Sometimes you need to climb a freaking rock. Sometimes you need to bring a tripod if you don't have somebody who can film for you. Sometimes you want to throw the big fat 135 lens on because you think it looks better than the wide angle 24mm. There are so many decisions that you can make in how to compose a better shot, but the best thing to think about, the best way to follow is don't be lazy. All right, back at the house, obviously. And I wanted to continue talking about composition, but to do it in a bit more of a controlled setting. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just set up a very typical, standard A-roll interview type shot that I'm sure we've all already done, or at some point you will certainly do in the future. But before I get into that, I did just wanna mention that the channel is growing, man. We're almost at 5,000 subscribers, which is just crazy. It's awesome. It's humbling. And I just want to say thank you to everybody who has subscribed. If you're watching this, thank you so much for your incredible support. And then also for people who are not subscribed, but also watching, just a little friendly nudge to click that subscribe button if you want to. No pressure at all, but would love to just have as many people as possible kind of just come on board and yeah, just be a part of the journey. I think I've got some really just cool things planned for the future, for just the general direction of this channel, and would love to have as many of you who want to be a part of that. So anyways, let's get into the breakdown of the interview shot. All right, so the first thing that I want to mention is that I'm not going to be talking about lighting or gear or anything like that. All I want to talk about in this video is how to actually set up, compose, and frame your shot. Now, the first rule of composition that I always try to follow is some sort of leading lines. Now, I'm gonna pause this clip right here and just talk about leading lines and exactly what they mean. Leading lines are natural lines within your frame that help lead your eye to the subject of your frame. And it doesn't matter what interview that I set up, I always try my best to find leading lines. Now, sometimes you're not gonna find them, but in this case, in this clip that I'm showing you right now, this is very clearly an example of leading lines directing your eye to the center of the frame. So anytime that you possibly can, always look for leading lines that are gonna help direct people's eyes to your subject. Now, although I have leading lines in this clip, it's still not a very well composed shot. And the reason for that is what leads me to composition rule number 2 that I try to follow, and that is the rule of thirds. And what is a really common practice and something that is just generally pleasing to the eye is to place your subject in either the left or the right third. Now, I'm sure many of you have already heard of the rule of thirds and you're like, all right, man, get on with it. This is basic stuff. Okay, fine. So not only do I always try to follow the rule of thirds to some degree, but I also try to make sure that my subject, if it's a person, is always in left third of frame. Now, this clip right here is a perfect example of not only leading lines from the window blinds, kind of leading and directing our eye to the subject, but also putting the subject in the left third of frame. Now, maybe you're asking, what does it matter what third the subject goes in? The reason I always try to put my subject in the left third is because when you have your subject looking from left to right, there is something about that image, that composition, that brings a sort of happy, excited, looking forward to type of a mood. And I think that's probably just because in most countries we read from left to right, and I think our brains just picture a timeline even from left to right. So when you are looking from the left side of frame towards the right side of frame, there is a certain mood that comes with that. And speaking of mood, that brings me to the last composition point that I'm going to talk about, and that is mood. Now, I don't know if you can tell in this shot, but I actually set the camera up to where the camera is pointed at a downward angle to myself. And unless you are intentionally going for that type of a look, I would almost always advise to never have your camera angle pointed downward at your subject unless you are trying to portray some sort of sad, melancholy, emotional type of mood. So if we want to combine all of the rules of composition that I've talked about, let's go to the clip that best illustrates that. And that's this one right here. We have leading lines clearly directing our eyes to the subject. We have the rule of thirds where the subject is placed on the left third, looking to the right because we want to appear as if there is something positive going on in this scene. And then we're also filming at a slightly upward angle, but nothing too dramatic to make you feel that this subject has some sort of heroic or larger than life feel. All right, I think I'm gonna come to an end now on this first episode of how to make your videos not suck. What do you guys think about this series? What do you think about this idea to kind of go through some of these techniques and just useful advice on filmmaking? I know for me, I've learned basically everything that I know either on YouTube or just kind of in the field practicing. So to me, I've always kind of just wanted to give back to this YouTube community. And if I can help somebody or just offer some sort of advice, you know, that's a huge reason of why I do this. So if you have any questions, if you have any thoughts, or if you have any video ideas that you'd like to see moving forward within the series of how to make your videos not suck, definitely leave me a comment down below. You can always follow and leave me a message either on Instagram or Twitter if you'd prefer that method. But yeah, I'm excited for this series moving forward. I think I've got a lot of good ideas. And hopefully, at the end of the day, hopefully it's gonna be very helpful for a lot of you guys. So anyways, I appreciate you so much. Thank you. If you are still watching, thank you so much for making it this far in the video. You're awesome, you're the best. And you know, this channel would not be the same without you. So truly, truly thank you for all your support. But anyways, I will see all you. I will see all of you in the next video.